Welcome back to the 513 podcast. I'm Nick, aka Bengals Storm. I'm here with Vince, aka Sam Hubbard, enthusiast on Twitter. And today we don't have any guests. It's been quite a minute since that's happened, but just here to talk straight Bengals football. And let's get started. A huge thing about this offseason is we haven't had many holdouts and big situations with a player, but this season's been different with the whole Jessie Bates situation. Hasn't signed his tender, won't get extended now throughout the season. The only way he can play or get traded is if he signs a tag, but that hasn't happened yet. Doesn't look like he's going to go to training camp. Vince, what are your thoughts on this?
I can see him missing training camp. Honestly, I think that's a real possibility. But for me, I just can't see someone turning down 12, 13 million in a year and not play and take the fines as well when you've never had a contract extension. I just don't see that happening. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to play, but this very well might be the last season we see of Jessie Bates in a Bengals uniform.
I think the way it works is he doesn't have to sign it and he won't get fined for it because he's technically not a part of the team. But what I've heard is a approximate of what he was given was 5 years, 85 million, only 17 mil guaranteed. And if you look at that, that would have made him the third highest paid safety in the NFL. So he would have liked the money. It's just uh, the guaranteed is what threw him off. But what you said, yeah, I don't think he's going to show up to training camp. I think his plan is don't risk injury. He won't get fined. Don't get injured at all during preseason or training camp. And then you come week one, healthy, trying to prove something. Worst case scenario, you don't do that good for Cincinnati. They don't want you back, but another team will pay you. But yeah, I mean, I think I understand Bates in this situation. He's going to get paid no matter what, whether it's via trade, via just playing. Doesn't have to be with us, but I can see it going any direction at this point. I kind of expect it to. I know that's the last thing you expect with the Bengals. I mean, we don't really trade players away unless you can just get a steal out of them like we did with Billy Price last year. But I mean, I'm not that worried about Jessie Bates, to be honest. I mean, Daxton Hill, I've heard he's been impressive in training camp. Tyson Anderson's so fast and athletic. I think people forget that Bates was kind of he wasn't playing like this in the playoffs last year, and that's why everyone's kind of rating him, in my opinion. I mean, I remember so many times thinking, "Oh my, Bates is one step off during a lot of his plays." Just all those 2021, 2020 plays that you saw from him, just killing people on a hit stick, getting all those picks, looking like the best safety in the NFL. It didn't feel like that. It felt like he was one step off. Did you see that at all?
He definitely was one step off at some points through the regular season last year, but I've seen some people say he was terrible, like he was awful and stuff. I mean, he wasn't awful. I mean, he was just a middle tier safety last year. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Um, as far as what he does and where he can go, I mean, again, anything is possible. But I do see this year he's going to stick with Cincy, I think, and I think he's going to play through it all. But again, I mean, the guarantees and stuff on his contract, I think that was the wrong move by the Bengals. If you were going to try and retain him seriously, I understand we got to keep some money and stuff and be able to let people
Yep.
go for all these other guys later down the road. But if you're going to try and offer a contract and secure somebody, you got to get at least 2-3 years of that money that on that contract guaranteed for him. I don't think that was a smart move. I don't really liked it. To only guarantee 17 million of 85 million, I think that's a little too low. But I mean, again,
It's just.
Again, I
mean,
mean,
it's just. Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, but again, I mean, he may have had his mishaps through the regular season, but I think some people what some people fail to realize is that version of Jessie Bates in the playoffs that year, that's the best safety in the league. Okay,
Yep.
that Jessie Bates in the playoffs was the best safety in the entire league. I think that Jessie Bates is better than 2020. 2020 Jessie Bates. As bold as that may sound.
Yeah, it's just the one thing I saw is I saw a stat in the middle of the season. It was like after the Browns game, I saw one thing. It was Jesse Bates actually plays kind of bad in the first half of every season, and then becomes the best safety in the league in the second half. Like it was like 60 PFF grade in his rookie year, and then went up to an 85 in the second half of that year. Then 2020, I believe it was. Like it was still good. He was like having a 79 PFF grade in the first half, but second half it was like a 93. I mean, I don't know why. It's just consistency. I think that's what's throwing Cincinnati off. It just really didn't help that
That's
he didn't
exactly what it is.
unlock.
That's
He
exactly
didn't unlock that the second half playing like a god until the playoffs happened. Like, yeah, he showed out when it mattered. It's just, do we pay someone to be a top three safety if he's only going to play like a top three safety for half the season? I mean, obviously everyone wants him back. He's great in the locker room. He's a great leader. It's just consistency that's the throw off. And for Bates, it's the guaranteed money, which I don't see Cincinnati really giving him all that guaranteed money. I mean, look at what happened to Trey Hendrickson. I mean, 4 years, 60 mil, great contract, but it was only 60 mil guaranteed. But so that shows that we give these big time free agents low guaranteed money. Like, prove it that you're worth the contract. And I think that's one great thing that worked out for the Trey Wayne situation. We didn't give him guaranteed money, and that worked out for us because he didn't do crap for us.
Yeah, but when you look at it from the Bengals' point of view and stuff, yes, that worked out for Trey Waynes, but Trey Waynes is not anywhere near the tier or
Yep.
level that Jessie Bates is and stuff. And when you're looking at inconsistency with Jessie Bates, yes, that's exactly why they offered only 17 million guaranteed, 100%. But it's also because of other players taking the contracts that they've given them on less guaranteed money deals. So they're thinking they can get away with it with every single player, I think.
Yep.
Um, as far as that goes, you can't be doing that. You have to give your players what they're worth. It's as simple as that. But I do understand saving up for T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. You know, that trio probably is what has to stay together throughout the entire era of this Bengals football team. I think that's
Yep.
probably what has to stick together.
I mean, I think the thing most like even look at like the second tier players like Jermaine Pratt, Logan Wilson, even Jonah Williams. I mean, looking at him, he's probably going to get 15, even 20 mil,
I don't think we
and
pay Jonah
that's.
Williams.
I mean, I hope if it's 15 to 20 mil, I hope not. But that's just showing like two things. One, we got to keep getting these offensive linemen good because sooner or later, I mean, unless Jonah plays elite next season, I don't see him coming back. But that also shows, well, Collins took a team-friendly deal to the max, man. He only took 3 years, 21 mil. Just think of that. I mean, that's insane. When
And you
okay,
can also thank Frank Pollock for having a part in that. Absolutely.
yeah, and yeah, I mean, but yeah, back to the Bates situation. It's just yeah, Pratt, Wilson, even like Trey Hendrickson, Cheeto Awuzie, people, those big time free agents we signed a couple years ago. It's just maintaining them as well. It's just do we pay Bates to be a top three safety when we draft Daxton Hill and we also have to re-sign Von Bell, who's going to be way cheaper than Bates, but he's still probably one of the key components to our defense, in my opinion. He plays every game, and he never plays bad, but he's never like plays elite. He's just there for you. That's how I think of Von Bell. But it's just so many. I don't know. I don't. It's just we got a safety to replace Bates. Safeties are probably one of the most replaceable positions, and you also have to re-sign a lot of players. I don't see many situations where we get Jessie Bates back on at the price he wants.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think we're gonna get Bates back at the price he wants either. Um, if we can sign him again, if we can sign him though to his friendly deal that can allow us to pay other players though somehow, some way. I mean, that would be a miracle. That would be a miracle.
Yeah,
But I know that's probably not gonna happen. And with Dax Hill, and you said Tyson Anderson was impressing in training camp too?
yeah. I mean, yeah, Tice. I mean, Anderson. He's a fifth-round rookie. We traded up for him for a reason.
Yeah.
Ohio native. I mean, there's a reason why we drafted him as well. I mean, he's not to replace Bates. Tyson Anderson to replace Jessie Bates.
Yeah, no, he's nowhere
He's
to replace
here.
Bell, probably.
He's here to replace Ricardo Allen that role if
Yeah,
Bates does not play this season. But I
yes.
think Daxton Hill is going to have that Ricardo Allen if Bates plays. They'll like expand it more. You know what I'm saying? Like put Daxton Hill all over the place. But worst case scenario, Bates doesn't play. We get a entire year of experience with Daxton Hill with a veteran defense, and Bates doesn't come back the year after, and we're confident with Daxton Hill. If not, then we sign a safety in the it's a pretty big safety market next year, I believe. Jordan James and Bates and no,
I don't even know
there's
if
a few.
Derwin James is gonna go back to the Chargers.
Yeah, Justin Simmons. There's a lot. There's a lot of safeties in the market. I think that's another reason why we re-sign Bates. It's like we won't get you if you want this much money. We'll just get a at level, maybe a bit less level safety for way cheaper. I think that's how Cincinnati's thinking. I think it's smart, but yeah, I'm not that worried. I mean, if we get Bates back, I'm cool with that. Don't know what we'll do with Jackson Hill. If we don't get Bates, sucks, but we gotta keep Higgins and a lot of other core pieces to the offense, and we gotta use Jackson Hill.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's gonna be a lot of positives to look from this, I think, even though the negative right now seems pretty big. But overall, the situation and stuff, it is what it is. I think the Bengals are gonna handle this the best they can, and we're still gonna be in the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, going to our next topic. Training camp is coming up next week. I'm excited for that one. Finally getting to post some content, but there's a lot of sure there's not any main position bets. I think the only main ones you look at is punt return, left guard, quarterback two, and punter. But I think we should look at some of the position battles and think who's going to win them. Starting off, let's look at no one's really talking about this, but backup QB, Brandon Allen's going to keep the job like 100%. Jake Browning could actually swipe in and take it. So it's Brandon Allen versus Jake Brown. What do you think of that?
I feel like Brandon Allen is still gonna do enough to keep that spot. I don't really think there's much he can do to lose it unless he just flat out is unimpressive at like all facets of the game. But again, I just don't see Brandon Allen relinquishing that role just yet unless we sign somebody. So that's me on it.
Thing is, we didn't see what Jake Browning could do last year at all. I think it was a mid-season acquisition. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I'm confident Brandon Allen's just. I think people are starting to think more of getting a improved backup QB, mainly from that Browns game last year where he was questionable to say the least. But yeah, I think it's 95% that Brandon Allen keeps the job unless we sign a Cam Newton type guy to back up Burrow, which I'd buy a jersey of Cam Newton the second he gets signed, but or unless Jake Browning becomes Joe Burrow, beats Brandon Allen out. I just see it. Brandon Allen keeps his backup job, and Jake Browning, a new QB, goes to the practice squad.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like as a veteran of the game, I just don't think Brandon Allen's gonna let that happen. I don't think that's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
All right, now to a pretty important battle, in my opinion, the backup running back position. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
we've utilize Pirine so much, but I think the fans really want Chris Evans to play like way more experience next year because what was it? He had like 12 catches, 170 and a touchdown. He was going off in the preseason, but we still went with Pirine throughout. The 3rd and 1 Super Bowl, like, that's what sealed it for a lot of guys. I don't know, it was like low F. The Titans game, he drops a pass that becomes a pick. The Chargers game, he drops a key 3rd and 3. It's just I don't see Chris Evans 3rd and 1 in the Super Bowl. I think he dives. Like the Titans game, he catches it. The Chargers game, he catches it. It's like pretty big moments of the game where Pirine could have made a play, but instead it went to the it just brought momentum up severely to the opposing team. Like I'm surprised we didn't lose the
Up
Titans game
with
from.
Pirine overall, and I am too, to be honest. This is going to be the year Chris Evans takes that jump. 100%, I think Chris Evans is going to take that lead this year. He's going to get this running back 2 role. 100%, I think. I don't see how he can't do it. I mean, if the organization loves Pirine that much, I think it's just going to make fans riot. But
Yeah.
Evans does just generally so many things better than Pirine, and the way he plays the game, it's just he's willing to learn. He's somebody who can uh, evolve really fast, somebody who can learn the game fast, and he's a guy who plays fast, and that's something that's important to have at today's level. You have to play fast. And another aspect of it that I think a lot of people overlook is what Chris Evans can do to help the offensive line out. His blocking ability is actually very underrated. I highly suggest you guys check him out on his film and blocking. His blocking is honestly not bad at all, and it's definitely Giovanni Bernard like, and that's something that I think can really help take a load off Joe Mixon being the main back and stuff. I think he can take a lot of edge on Joe Mixon in that department off his back. Um Pirine, man, it's just mess ups after mess up after mess up, and I feel like the fans have had enough. I don't think he sees past running back 3 this year unless injuries happen, or he's gonna be off the roster on a different team. I think he's good enough to be running back 2 on a lot of teams, no doubt, but I just don't think he's gonna be seeing past running back 3 when with the Bengals. Chris Evans, to wrap it up, basically, I just think he's ready to take that next step. Uh, he is that guy. I think he's ready to. I think he's ready. I think he's ready.
And what you said about like Pirine, if he doesn't make the roster, you got to think about the other options like Travion Williams, Shamari Jones, and Elijah Hoyfield. One of them, like they're younger options. And Travion showed flashes in the preseason and even a few regular season games the past few seasons. Jones is a rookie out of Coastal Carolina. Hoyfield, I heard, did pretty good for the Eagles in the preseason last year. So if they see something out of any of those 3 running backs and Chris Evans makes that second year leap we're expecting, then yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Pirine's gone.
Absolutely, man. I can definitely see it.
All right, so next position battle we have is the wide receiver 4 position. This one is, I think, the most tossed up out of any, mainly because we can get there's a lot of options in free agency as well for all the rooms that we get Will Fuller, Odell Beckham, and even like trade for a guy like Andy Isabella. There's a lot of options, but the guys on the roster that's competing for it is like Stanley Morgan, Luca Williams, Mike Thomas, and Trent Taylor and Kwame Lassiter is the main guys I'm thinking of competing for that spot.
Yeah, there's a lot of options. There's a lot of fluctuity in this position. I think you can do so many things with it, but I think one name you should take a look out for, has come up. Maybe he doesn't get wide receiver 4 this year, but somebody I would keep my eye on is Puka Williams. I think Puka Williams possesses so much athletic ability. I think he can open up the field more. His size is definitely a concern, but his speed and his elusiveness definitely makes up for it. I think he would still be adjusting to the NFL speed. I think that's what you saw from him last year
Yeah.
when he was kick returning and stuff. It just seemed like he was a little slow at evading tackles. I think it was just the speed of the game that kind of hit him a little too fast. But at wide receiver now, that's his new position, not running back anymore. I think Puka could really become somebody that a lot of teams may look at in the future. I think he can definitely do it. He has potential. But if I had to stay realistic with somebody who's going to get that wide receiver 4 spot, don't be surprised if they stick with Mike Thomas, honestly. Don't be surprised. I mean, that's been a guy that Zach Taylor likes for a while, comes from the Rams tree. Uh, I definitely think that's a realistic option to see is Mike Thomas at wide receiver 4. But Puka Williams, like I said, look out for him. He could make a jump that people don't expect.
Puka. People forget that before that first career game he had against the Chargers, he only played 5 snaps in the preseason before that because of injury. So we didn't really get to see much out of him. And I think that was just like worst case scenario for Puka because he didn't have any experience going to that game, even like preseason or any receiving reps during training camp. It was because he was playing running back. So like a full off season. Hopefully he gets a few preseason games and we can show what he can do. But yeah, wide receiver 4. I'm not expecting Mike Thomas. I think the favorite for that is Stanley Morgan, mainly because of his elite blocking for a wide receiver. I think that makes him the most underrated player in the NFL just for that alone. A like a diamond in the rough I see is Kwame Lassiter, a wide receiver out of Kansas. He he's been getting wide receiver 1 reps during OTAs. I've heard he's been phenomenal so far. He's done it all. I wouldn't be surprised if he I don't expect him to be wide receiver 4, but I do expect to make the 53. Hopefully he does better than the past undrafted free agent preseason preseason star and Damian Willis. If you
Who?
Damian Willis.
Damian Willis. I don't think I've looked into him yet.
Yeah, I'm just saying that guy. He got my hopes up. He was a undrafted free agent, goes into week 1 as a starting wide receiver, and does nothing. There's a reason you don't remember him. He did nothing that entire season. He had like 3 catches that whole season. But yeah, besides that, yeah, Kwame, I have confidence in. Stanley Morgan has elite blocking. Trent Taylor, I don't think he'll be a wide receiver 4, but make the team because of his punt returning skills. And I, I don't know. It's like all over the place with free agency and trade rumors. You don't know what's going to happen at that position.
Yeah, for sure. And also, you can't forget Trent Taylor either. Trent Taylor's also wild card in this department.
Yep.
But overall, there's so much fluidity at this position right now. We can do anything, and I don't think anybody would complain. Unless it was probably Mike Thomas, which I think is a realistic option. But
Yep.
yeah, I think any option is good for us. I think either any option is flexible. I think it's going to result in success either way, and you're going to get a lot of development from this position. I definitely think so.
Yeah. All right, going into our next train camp battle is a pretty small one, but I know fans always love this guy every year. Feels like the tight end 3 battle between Mitchell Wilcox, the person who won that last year, Thaddeus Moss, and Nick Eubanks. Vince, what are your thoughts on this one?
I'm gonna speak from the heart right now. I want Thaddeus Moss to make the roster, man. I
Yeah.
really do. I really want Thaddeus Moss to make the roster. I mean, it's just he was supposed to get a shot at playing last year, and he was supposed to shine out against the Steelers, but unfortunate turn of events where he pulled what did he do in warm-ups again?
I
I
think
wanna
I think a hamstring. I think.
That's what I
Not
wanna
100%.
say, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, gut feeling
Um,
it's hamstring, but
yeah,
probably
but,
wrong.
to continue what I was saying, though, I mean, it's just he got robbed of the opportunity to show out and what he could do in that game, and I felt bad for him, and it really sucked because his father, Randy Moss, he was really excited the morning or the night before, I think. He was just jumping around and stuff saying, "Go Bengals," and stuff and all that. And, and just to see it go out like that, it sucks, man. It sucks to be in a position like that. So, I'm definitely rooting for Thaddeus Moss. I wanna make the final roster, but again, if Mitchell Wilcox is just a better special teamer and he's what this team needs more, then I guess that's just what it has to be. There's no ill feelings and stuff, but I'm definitely rooting for Thaddeus Moss.
Yeah, yeah, Wilcox. Last year to beat out like 4 or 5 tight ends, including Thaddeus Moss last year. So obviously the coaches likely can do special teams, but I think the thing is that when we lost CJ Uzama, even with Hayden Hurst, I think like the trust in receiving goes down. So if the Bengals are looking at like a receiving threat that can be next to Hurst, if we want to go like a pass play of 2 tight ends, then yeah, we'll go Thaddeus Moss. But if we're still going that special teams route for someone for Darren Simmons, which I'm okay with, to be honest, if we're going special teams, I'm like a Green Bay didn't care for special teams for the past 10 years, and they probably lost at least 2 Super Bowls because of that. And yeah, I think it's just Wilcox versus Moss at this point. I don't think anyone cares for Justin Rigg, Nick Eubanks. Scotty Washington, I think, has a chance. It's just I think he's too small for the tight end position. But yeah, I'm rooting for Thaddeus, man. You make Randy Moss do whatever, do everything in the book on ESPN Game Day. But yeah, it's like 50-50 at this point, just what the coaches think.
Absolutely, I agree, man.
All right, time for one of the big position battles. The starting left guard spot. Last year it was Quentin Spain starting. He looked pretty good. It's just, yeah, he was probably the best offensive lineman we had last year, to be honest. And thinking of that now, that's actually that's kind of sad. But if Quentin Spain is look like your franchise left guard there for you, but never mind that. The main guy is Jackson Foreman for the left guard spot, but he could also be given to Cordell Volson and Deontay Smith even.
Yeah, I think
I
when I think when a lot of people are looking at that position battle and stuff, a lot of people are mainly picking either Volson or Carmen and stuff, but I feel like the dark horse that's gonna pull through on this one is gonna be Deontay Smith. One, Volson, we just don't know enough about. Yes, he's a typical glass eater lineman that
Yep.
loves. Carmen with freakish athletic ability, however, he is having issues right now. Um, I feel like this is the time for Deontay Smith to come up and steal that role. I mean, and plus, did you see that video of him running around on
Yeah.
Jackson Carmen and absolutely
Yeah.
cooking? Oh my goodness, the footwork.
I should have put him in the wide receiver 4 discussion.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, again, like just to add on to it, just Deontay Smith, it's just he's so athletic. It just seems like he works so hard. I feel like he's ready. I feel like he's ready to come through. I don't know if left guard position is ideal for him or if that's what he wants, but I mean, I feel like he can go up there and snag it 100%.
Yeah, Carmen, I'm just looking at like a football standpoint right now with him, but like when
Go
you
for it.
looked at the film, he had a play where he was like pancaking Chris Jones, and and bodying the Packers line for 10 seconds on that huge play from Burrow to Chase at the end of the half. But then there were also plays where he gets quickly moved by like Sheldon Rankins against the Jets, or so it's just consistency culminates. Volson, yeah, he's hard hitting, he's powerful, but it's just stuff like he came from a small college in North Dakota, and he's a rookie, so I don't know what you think about that. Deontay Smith, I mean, yeah, Deontay. I mean, I just think he's better as a swing tackle, like that Isaiah Prince role last year. I think you should give that to Deontay at least. Give that to him because I remember against the Browns game where he played left tackle, he was actually doing pretty good against Miles Garrett of all people. Like, yeah, he allowed us. I don't even know if he allowed a sack. He allowed a few pressures, but
I mean, he could be that
like,
Jonah Williams replacement if Jonah Williams is walking.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, he looked good against Cleveland, against arguably one of the best defensive ends in football. I mean, and that's his first career start. I mean, why not? Why not try stuff out with him at swing tackle? See if he got it. Like obviously, doesn't mean he's a great offensive lineman if he performs well at the six lineman packages. I mean, Isaiah Prince was probably he probably looked like the best lineman when he was doing that. But the second Riley Reef gets hurt, Prince just didn't look anywhere near what he did. But it's just a way to give him reps if Carmen or Volson wins the job. I think it's just a way to make him feel confident going into it when he goes into his third year and actually compete for the starting left tackle spot.
For sure, man. I 100% agree with that. But I don't know. I just feel like Deontay Smith is a guy who can come up, but the most likely pick that's probably going to happen will probably be Jackson Carman, as long as the off-field issues don't resonate into the game. But again, it's just for me personally, it's something that's hard to ignore and just, for the moment. But
Yeah.
again, definitely separating football from it, I can definitely see Carmen taking that spot. But Deontay Smith, man, he's definitely coming on.
And I hope Jackson wins the left guard job the most. I think he's the most experienced and bit biased here, but I have Jackson Common jersey that I bought last year, so I kind of need that to be used this year.
Absolutely. All right. So what's the next position battle?
Let me think. It's kind of a small one that no one's talking about, actually. The linebacker three battle. I mean, this one, yeah, you got Akeem Davis Gaither back after he gets injured in that Ravens game, but I think people need to think, is he secure with that job? I don't think so. I mean, I think he's going to win it, but you got to think, is Marcus Bailey going to? Is Joe Bacci or Clay Johnston even? There was when we had a lot of our linebacker coordinates and we signed a lot of young guys who got reps. Joe Bacci looked amazing in his limited snaps last year. Clay Johnston made probably one of the most significant tackles in the playoffs with that 2-point conversion against the Titans. And Marcus Bailey was consistently good throughout the season where he played that linebacker 4 position. So it just makes you think, like, Akeem, I think he's still talented. I still view him as like the sleeper pick for a breakout season, but Marcus Bailey or Joe Bacci, they could definitely swoop in and take it as well.
It's a really interesting position battle. It's one of the it's one of the best like quote unquote problems we can have right now. It's just loads of talent at that level, and we're really like we have a lot of depth at that position, a lot of
Yep.
depth. and that's really good for this team. And that was because that was the issue in 2019 and 2020 was just linebacker depth. We just didn't have the depth, we didn't have the star talent, and now we have it. Um, Akeem Davis-Gaither, I think, is secure in this situation.
Yep.
Marcus Bailey would be the biggest threat to his position, in my opinion. But I think the only thing keeping him from taking that job from Akeem Davis-Gaither is his injury history. His injury history is not good. He's been injured and stuff. He was supposed to be like a second round pick when he got drafted,
Yep.
but because of injury and stuff, he fell all the way to the seventh round. So it's really interesting to look at it all. But for me personally, I think Akeem Davis-Gaither is going to keep this job, but that's specifically because of his health. I know he got injured last year, but that was a one-time deal, at least so far. But if he gets injured again, I think Marcus Bailey will soar, and I think Davis-Gaither might get let go. But again, I think Davis-Gaither's going to keep the job.
Yeah, man, I can. Yeah, I think it's just Akeem Davis-Gaither breakout season, but just have to wait and see. All right, so the next one and another important position battle is the second outside corner spot. We know Cheeto is that cornerback one spot locked and secured, but we got Cam Taylor-Britt in the draft, and we re-signed Eli. So, and the media will bash on Eli Apple till he's dead, but Bengals fans love the guy. But we also love Cam Taylor-Britt. So it's what you said earlier about this being like a win-win situation. I think no matter what, we're gonna have good play at cornerback. I think Eli Apple's gonna win it week one, but the good thing about it is if he does struggle, then we can just put Cam Taylor-Britt in and see what he can do. But if Eli Apple's doing good, we can just develop Cam Taylor-Britt throughout the season and then let him start the year after. But I think Eli Apple is going to be the week one starter for this position.
I can definitely agree to that. I think Eli Apple will keep that position. He's the veteran in that system. This is the system he's excelled in. It just makes sense for him to start right now. But uh, by late this season or maybe early next year, I absolutely see Cam Taylor-Britt taking that spot from him. I definitely do see it.
Yep.
Cam Taylor-Britt is an athletic freak. I'm really high on him. I'm really happy with that pick. Uh, and again, man, there's just so much depth at that position to go through. But we all know the main battle is between Taylor-Britt and Eli Apple.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, even like, I don't know what to say much more about it. It's just they're both pretty equal level. I mean, Cam Taylor-Britt, I think a lot of Bengals fans wanted him in the draft, so seeing us get him was a huge win, and everyone loves Eli Apple. So it's just, yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's just they're both really talented players. But let's move on to the most important part of football, in my opinion, special teams. Uh, we got the punter position that I feel like no one's really talking about. Kevin Huber, I think he kind of disappointed last year. So what was it? His 18th, 17th season in the NFL?
No, it's like it's not that much. I think it was more like
Really?
13, 14.
Oh my god!
Let
Really?
me see.
Yeah. No, I gotta check that out soon. But
I'm
yeah,
looking it up right now.
Kevin. yeah,
Yeah, 13
but
seasons.
oh my wow, that was like 17, 18. But yeah, back to what I was saying, he kind of disappointed last year. I mean, he really didn't inside the 20 or even 10-yard line punts, and a lot of them were like at most 45 yards. But we re-signed him after in the draft. We were targeting a punter in the fourth round. If I remember seeing reports of that, and it just didn't happen. Yeah, we didn't get any undrafted free agent punters to come in, but so we just decided let's give him another chance. But it's also no one's talking about Drew Chrisman. This guy he was probably one of the best punters I've ever seen watching Ohio State. He, I don't know his average. I think it's like 55. He missed a lot of preseason and training camp due to injury, but I definitely see Drew Crispin getting this job. It's going to be weird seeing someone good wearing the number 4 on the field. That's not Randy Bullock, but I, it's, I don't know. It's just, think I trust Drew more, younger player, as I feel like a bigger leg. And he even showed off his accuracy yesterday. I saw an Instagram post of him like making basketball shots with punts. So that's just showing off that accuracy there. But yeah, I definitely think Drew Chrisman's going to win this battle.
Me personally, I just don't see it happening. I think they signed Kevin Huber for a reason. They re-signed him for a reason. I think he's still the veteran. He's still that leader on that unit. I feel like he's gonna get this last year, and that's gonna be Drew Chrisman's time next year. I don't think it's Drew Chrisman's time right now or yet. I think the organization doesn't see it that way. That's why they re-signed Huber. I think Huber's gonna take the field one more time.
I don't think I'll be disappointed anyway. I like Huber. I like Chrisman. So I think it's.
I
I mean,
think Huber's
it's like
performance was overblown a bit at times last year.
yeah.
I feel like I didn't really see too much wrong with what he did. I mean, of course, he had a few bad punts here and there, but it was a decent season for him, I'd say.
Yeah, maybe. I'd say like below average, in my opinion. I think I'm one of those people that overblows some of his punch up. That's mainly because I saw how good he was, like as a top 5 punter the years prior. So I'm like that boss set of him playing like that, and it just didn't feel like that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, all right. So let's go to the final position battle in the punt returner position. I think kick returner, that one's a lock. Give it to Brandon Wilson again. He did nothing wrong with it the past few seasons. He's, I feel like he's guaranteed to give you a 40 plus yard return every game. It seems like, so just give it to him again. But punt return is a different story. I mean, that one was all over the place by like the end of the season with after the Darius Phillips game. We were like holding our breath every time Trent Taylor was calling for the ball, but it was Boyd, Taylor. Did anyone else play punt returner after Darius Phillips, or was it just Boyd and then Trent Taylor the rest of the season?
I think Trent Irwin got a little bit of reps, and
Oh yeah,
I think Chris Evans and Puka Williams might have gotten some reps too,
yep.
but I'm not completely sure. You can correct me on that if you can.
I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, the people competing for it this year is Tyler Boyd, Trent Taylor, Chris Evans, as you said, Puka Williams, Tyson Anderson, and Trenton Irwin. I mean, this one is like, and it should be Trent Taylor when you look at it. I mean, it's like an Alex Erickson, if I had to say, but just a tiny bit more explosive. With Erickson, he'll get you at most a 10-yard return. I think Taylor will get you at most 20, 25 yards. He's not going to give you that big play like Pac-Man Jones would have, but Trent Taylor does what you need him to do. But if if we're looking for a Pac-Man Jones type of guy, I think that's what you're looking for, like Tyson Anderson, Puka Williams, or Chris Evans, and that's who I'm hoping the job goes to because I just like seeing special teams touchdowns on punt and kick returns because it's so unexpected to say. But
Yeah.
yeah, if I had to take a like an right now guess, it'd be Trent Taylor. I'm just hoping it's Puka Williams because he'll get. I just love him being like wide receiver 4 and punt returner. That's like a dream scenario just because of his speed and athletic ability. But yeah, what do you think?
I mean, it's possible. It's just so much flexibility with that position right now. It's just hard to say what's gonna happen. But I mean, there's just so much that can happen with that. I mean, it's hard to like pick one definitive player who's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Um, but you know,
I mean, I think the only thing we can say about it is that it probably isn't going to Tyler Boyd mainly because we don't want to risk injury there. I mean, and obviously
Yeah,
there's a
no.
reason we call Tyler Boyd was doing what he needed to, but the reason we put Trent Taylor there is so we can keep Boyd and Hankins and Chase healthy throughout the playoffs. And I think that was a smart choice. I mean, if all else fails, just go to Boyd, but I think that's like a last resort for Cincinnati.
Yeah, I agree with that, but, you know, Puka Williams, Chris Evans, I mean, Trent Taylor, Trent Irwin, any of those guys, I mean, it'll do.
Yeah, all right. So, I mean, that concludes all of the training camp battles. I think the thing about this year, there's no like big game changing battle that we've had in the past few seasons. Like, I can't think of anything right now because of it, but like, I felt like there were always three offensive line battles, a defensive line battle, every single linebacker position, and a cornerback battle. But this year, it's more straight up who's the starters are because we retained a lot of the players, and I think that's a good thing. Just the
Mhm.
players know their role, but I think the major news that came out this week is the new White Tiger helmet. So,
Absolutely.
well, yeah, I think it's only one game they can win. I'm not
2.
100% sure. Two. Oh, I know
Yeah.
the Houston Texans. I know the Houston Texans are wearing theirs for one game, so maybe Cincinnati's only doing it for one. But all I know about it is it's going to be a home game. And with that being said, I am praying to the gods that we get a whole like Penn State whiteout game type of thing in Paul Brown Stadium. I mean,
Yeah,
that just
that would be awesome. I would love something like that. Sorry, you can continue real quick. I know you were trying to finish that.
yeah. I mean, it all. I'd say we should do it like this white helmet thing should be like early in the season. I think get the fans going. Don't think it should be week one. I think week four against Miami Dolphins makes sense. Debut new helmets, Ring of Honor, first primetime game of the season at Cincinnati. It makes too much sense. And you can't do it. Wear all white helmets, jersey, and pants in like December because that's like risking a snow game. And we just know Burrow would probably throw 10 picks because he couldn't see any of his teammates because of that.
Yeah, for sure. White helmets, man, I'm really excited for it all, I mean, this is something that the fans have been pushing for 5, 6 years now, ever since those Color Rush uniforms came out, those old ones.
Yep.
Um, it's gonna be glorious, man. I cannot wait to see these in action. They're gonna look clean, they're gonna look, absolutely spectacular. And I think the NFL is gonna benefit from it. I think a lot of people are gonna tune in to check them out. Um,
Yeah.
Now as far as what game they're gonna, drop them in and where they're gonna display them at, there is talk, well, no, there isn't. They announced that it was gonna be coming in the fall, sometime in the fall. So that's between October and November most likely.
So
If I
week
had to
four to like it's like week four to the bye week for us. So
Yeah,
I'm sure.
if I had to guess, I think 2 games as a possibility for the first time they show it out. Uh, I'll start with the, one that everybody expects probably. I would expect probably versus the Dolphins on Thursday night when they announce the Ring of Honor and all that stuff. I think that's probably one of the more likely, situations there. Um,
Yeah, makes the most
for
sense to show them.
Yeah, for sure, and it's a home game, so I mean, it makes sense. However, I think one game that some people could not expect whatsoever, but I think could work really well, having Joe Burrow trout out onto enemy territory in the Brown Stadium on Halloween night, Monday Night Football. I think that's a perfect stage for it.
Yeah, I mean,
The
it feels
only
like
the only setback on that is that it isn't a home game, but
yeah.
I just think the setting of it being Halloween, Monday Night Football against a division rival and stuff, I feel like trotting out in the white helmets for that game could be sensational.
I mean, the only thing I'm thinking is just how if we're going for like a Halloween aesthetic, just wear all black and beat the Browns by 20 then. But I'm cool with beating the Browns by 20 on. I'm cool with whatever. It's just a score that's worth it in the end against Cleveland. Yeah, if I had to guess, like the three most likely games that we wear the helmets would be. I mean, I saw a tweet here. Let me try pulling it up. It was said something about like it looking like it's going to be a home game. Yeah, what you said this fall, it says coming to the jungle this fall. So I'm just thinking
Yep, that's what I was
if
talking
it's
about.
if it's coming to the jungle, that probably means it's a home game. So if it's to
For
the fall,
sure.
that's like week 4 to the bye week. So I think we only have 3 home games: the Falcons, the Panthers, and the Dolphins during that span.
Yeah,
So
we're pulling them out against the Dolphins for sure
I,
then.
it's either Miami or Carolina and Atlanta, where they wear all black and we wear all white. That just looked really cool. Like maybe I don't know, Atlanta pulls off their throwback red helmets and wears all black, and we pull out the white helmet with all white. That just looked cool to
That's
watch. But
it would be
I'm like
cool, but
not. I'm like 99% sure we're going with the Miami game, and I'm cool with that. It just
it
makes
makes
a
too
lot
much
of sense.
it's too
Yeah,
much.
it makes too much sense. So you know it's gonna be like I don't know at Buffalo on week 17,
I mean,
just because it makes
they said that, well, again, they said they can wear the helmets 2 times a year. So,
yeah.
they could definitely pull them out against Buffalo, you never know.
But if you pull it out 2 times, I think one of them has to be like one of those 1 p.m. games, and another one's going to be prime time. I think it's 100% going to be that Miami prime time game, and then just I don't know, show them off again against the Chiefs because we're going to be in Cincinnati again for that game. But yeah, I mean, I think it's like no debate. Expect it to be Miami, but if it's not, we're cool with it because we finally get to see the White House in action.
For sure, man. I mean, I can't complain with wherever we see them at. I mean, we're gonna see them regardless somewhere.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, man, I cannot wait for this white helmet, man. The white helmets were this is one of the most fan-friendly decisions that the Bengals have made in a long time, I'd say. I think it's gonna
yeah.
be an amazing success. And I really hope people do show up like in a whiteout for that game. And I really can't wait. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, man, I think, yeah, but it's just, I mean, I think it's just great for fans waiting, what, 6, 10 years, however long it's been to get these things unveiled. But it also makes me think about, did we reveal them on July 14th so it could overshadow the Jessie Bates news that have happened the following day?
It's a possibility for sure. But again, I don't feel like that's as likely. I mean, they still offered the contract. But again, they all the reports could have came out later or earlier, I mean,
Yeah.
uh, than they announced it. So I mean, you never know. But again, I mean, at this point, I'm just excited.
Yeah, excited for all fans, training camp, the season coming up. Hopefully, the Jesse Bates stuff gets cleared, and then it's all sunshines and rainbows for once for the season. No, Jamar Chase is dropping balls. Joe Boss, he doesn't want to come to Cincinnati, and Ryan Finley, Andy Dalton. It's just, it feels great. It feels great, all right? It's great to just be happy going into a training camp this season and not expect 4-12 to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thrilled with this season right now. I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome, man. It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, I think that's all we have for today. Yeah, thanks for listening to the 513 podcast. Make sure to subscribe and follow Me, Bengals Storm on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. And make sure to follow Vince, aka Sam Hubbard Enthusiast, on Twitter. And that's all we have.
All links will be in the description. You can all check it out there. You can also follow my Instagram where I post my edits and jersey swaps,
Oh yeah,
edits.
we gotta link that.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll link that in the description. Make sure you check all of it out. Follow us again, and everybody have a blessed day.